Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Triple R Ryan's Real Reactions. And today I am starting a 5-part series of watching the entire nearly 4-hour Nichol Kessinger, the mistress of Chris Watts, her interrogation. I'm going to break this down into like 45-minute segments, and just so I'm not like overloaded with too much information at once, you know. And we're going to do it. You guys have been asking for it. Be fun to make this a little series. I'll probably do this every Saturday or at some point for the next month or so, and then go back to some of the EWU and body cam videos. But title of this video is New Release Nichol Kessinger Video with Father About Chris Watts Relationship. Here we go.
I just turned the recorder. Okay. So again, this room is recorded, and video and audio. We introduced ourselves.
So the video itself is a little bit dark. If you're like, what's going on? That's just how the video is. Audio quality should be decent. You know, nothing crazy. I have a whole playlist of Chris Watts stuff on my channel. If you want to check that out in the description, catch up. But here we go. I'm excited.
And earlier, so we're just going to do that again real quick. My name's Kevin Kovac. I'm with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and we're assisting the Frederick Police Department with this case involving Chris Watts. And this is Tim Martinez, also an agent at CBI. Sir, if you just introduce yourself.
Dwayne Kessinger. I'm Nichole's father.
When was your birthday?
November 3rd, 1958.
And home address for you, sir?
8801 West 65th Avenue.
What city?
And that's Arvada, 8004.
This was filmed 7 years ago, over 7 years ago, August 16th, 2018. Isn't it crazy that we're almost in 2026? What's going on?
And a cell phone or a home phone or where?
720.
I don't want to, no phone numbers.
Recording.
Nichol Kessinger.
Nichol Kessinger.
Do you know the other stuff?
Yes.
If you didn't know, I'm not a fan of Nichol Kessinger. I don't like her. I think she should be in prison, and I think she was the puppet master of this entire thing. Just in case you're new here, that's my opinion already going into this. I'm not going to be very nice to her because I think she got off way too easy.
I live at 12255 Claude Court, Unit 612, phone number 7.
Claude Court, is that?
0241.
You're tired
Skip ahead.
and you're stressed, and we won't be here any longer than we have to be. You've already had a conversation with people before. You came here on your own free will to talk to us. We picked you up at your request and brought you here. You can get up and leave at any time. You don't have to talk to us. If there's a question you don't want to answer, don't answer it. If you don't want to talk anymore, just tell me I want to leave. And I'm kind of in the way of the door, but you're not being interrogated as a criminal suspect. We're here to understand your relationship with Chris and what you know about Chris and his family. And
I almost feel like she's purposely kind of doing this to make it be like, come on, guys, really? Are we really doing this? Like, I have to go through this.
events relating to Chris Watts. And do you know him as Chris or Christopher?
Either one.
Okay. So the phone number that you reached him on, can you tell me what that number was?
I think I deleted that out of my phone too. I just cut him out of my life.
I bet you did.
It's a 910 number. You guys have it.
We gave it to Mark yesterday.
Yeah, I probably
You'll
have it,
have
but
it.
just in case.
I don't have it
If I
anymore.
recited it to you, would you know it?
Just the first 3 numbers.
Okay. But you know it as a 910 number?
Yes, that's what I do know. I mean, that's what I got.
North Carolina or something.
Yeah.
That's
North
what it
Carolina.
is.
Okay. So let's just start with like a timeline of your getting to know Chris, how you guys met, where you met, all those things. And let's just run. And I'm not going to ask you specific questions unless I think it's necessary. I'll let you just tell me your story. I think it's a little bit easier that way. So I just want to know how you met him, where you met him, how long you guys were dating, and those kind of things initially.
Like we weren't even dating. I mean, I barely even knew the guy. You know, I don't know. He was not my type.
Okay. I think I met him sometime in June, probably early June. It might have been May. It was just talking at work. It was pretty casual. And he didn't have a wedding ring on his finger. And every time I talked to him, he didn't tell me that he was in a relationship. He didn't even mention his kids right away either. And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids. I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was like right around Father's Day too. So whenever that is in June.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cute that he was a dad. And I wanted to ruin the relationship. Also, you could tell she's just downplaying it, right? Like, I don't know. I think it was like May or June. I didn't even know she was with someone. It's like, yeah, there's records that show that she was Googling Shanann before even claiming to know who she was. She knew. She knew all about that. Also, she could, just because he didn't bring it up doesn't mean she couldn't have said, so do you have a wife? Do you have any kids? Now, Chris also is guilty of that. Don't know if the wedding ring thing is a lie, but like, come on. Just already with the, you know, just the BS.
So
I'm not good with
he
holidays.
told me he had kids, and then it was Father's Day shortly after
Okay.
that. So that's what I do now. And I was like, I thought it was cute. And then he's telling me about him. He's pretty excited about him. And then he mentioned that he did have a significant other. And then he told me that those 2 were in the process of a separation.
Did he mention the children's name or his significant other's name?
I didn't know his significant other's name for
Liar.
a while. And then I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick, but to be honest with you, on an exact date of when that happened, I don't know.
So in May and June, first of all, where do you work?
I work at Anadarko Petroleum Corporation. I'm contracted to Anadarko Petroleum Corporation
Okay, and you work out of an office setting where?
in Platteville, Colorado.
Okay. And Chris also works out of that location, per
Yes.
se.
Yes. He's in the field, but he comes into the office with his team.
So you work, what is your job responsibility?
I do health, safety, and environment.
Okay, so you work in the office and you take care of health safety for, Anadarko is an oil and gas company, right?
Yes.
So you're doing health safety in the office and Chris works in the field
Yes.
as a, what kind of job does he do?
He's an operator, so I don't know like all of his daily duties, but he's a field operator, so he works with like the oil wells.
So he goes out and does work on those, whatever
Yes.
that work might be, but he comes into the office frequent.
In the
Or-
mornings, his team meets in the mornings. They're not all in there every day. Some days, some of them are in there. Some days, other ones are in there. But in the mornings, typically from like 6:15 to probably 7, somewhere around there.
And is that where you met Chris?
Yes.
Okay. So can you just take us through kind of a little bit of the early part of how he courted you or you courted him? I don't know which one happened. How you guys got to know each other?
I guess we just started talking. He actually, so part of my job is to manage the gas monitors that we have. So Anadarko requires all of their field personnel to carry like gas monitor sensors for toxic gases. And
I also noticed, like, with her voice, like, she kind of has like that vocal fry, you know, and it's almost like, it almost feels like she's putting on an act even with that. Just kind of like how relaxed and chill and just like, yeah, I don't really know. I mean, you know, he kind of like, you know, it's not like very enthusiastic. It's very like disheveled and like, you know, almost trying to seem like the victim, if that makes sense.
my job to control the inventory, any issues, anything like that. And we were having some pretty serious like equipment issues, and we had numerous amounts of people coming in my office one day, and he happened to be one of them. And I'd seen him before, like they meet in the lunchroom, and that's where I go put my lunch in the fridge. So I'd seen him, but I didn't ever like talk to him. So that day we just started talking, and then every time I saw him in the hallway after that, and it was always hit or miss, like it wasn't an everyday thing, it was just when I saw him, we just started talking, and we just kind of had a lot in common and just hit it off, so we'd always have, pretty good conversations, and then, I don't know.
What did you guys have in common? You both wanted his wife gone, or?
One day he told me that he had kids and started talking about his kids, and then mentioned, yes, that I have a wife, but we're getting separated. So, okay. And then,
When do you think that?
But here's the thing, right? As a woman or a man, if you hear that somebody is getting separated, not hey, I have a divorce that's finalized, we're divorced. When you hear in the process, that's where you got to step away. Like, I'm not getting involved in that. I'm good. Even if you think you might go somewhere with it, it's like you do not want to get involved in a separation that isn't actually happening yet, or it's in the process, or it's like you're technically not divorced and all these things. It's just not worth it. That's where Nichol could have easily been like, okay, guy, 2 kids, has a wife, they're separating in quote, but they're not actually separated yet. She should have and could have easily been like, I'm out, right? But she didn't. Because of course she did it. She didn't want to. She wanted him for himself. Didn't matter what or who he was with. As always, she brings up the kids. Rest in peace, Cece. Celeste. Rest in peace to Bella. Rest in peace to Nico. And of course, Shanann. As should be said in every single video.
That was.
when he said all that,
So specifically when he told you he was getting separated from his wife, was that within the first couple of weeks that you knew him, or was that later on? You said you met him around May or June.
yeah, it was still in June.
Okay.
It would have been before Father's Day.
So had you guys ever gone out on any kind of
No.
date at that time?
No.
You just
No,
were
no.
conversing at work?
Yeah, that's all it was. And then,
They were emailing too and stuff like that, and then start texting.
I don't know. We started hanging out. We had,
No, it was just whatever, and then we started hanging out. That's like a big gap. That's like a couple chapters missing. Yeah, we just saw each other at work. We talked in the hallway, and then we just started hanging out. Is like, okay, so what's the chunk that we're missing there? You
no,
know?
we went to a park. Hung out at a park.
Let's go back real quick. So why did he tell you that he was getting a divorce? Did he ask you out at that time?
No, he didn't. I think he was probably interested in me. And so he talked to me a couple times via his work phone, and I was like, no. Like, it was still very, like, friendly conversation. But then when I realized, like, this man is interested in me, I'm interested in him, this is personal, so we got away from the Anadarko thing because I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. And
So you have a work phone that's specifically...
no, I have one phone that I do both on. He has two phones.
Okay, so he had your phone, the 720-656.
That's the only number that I roll with all the time.
Okay,
So he has two phones.
all right. One of those owned by Anadarko and
Yes,
one
sir.
personal.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what his Anadarko phone number was? Okay.
It's been so long, and I mean, I'm sure I could like look it up, but I tried to look it up for those guys yesterday, and I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Oh, I bet you couldn't find it. I bet. Because you deleted everything that you could.
We can find it. That's okay. Just wondering if you knew it.
But at that point, we just like took it to his phone because I just felt it was like better that way. And we just continued to talk, and then
Let me go back to the park. Where's the park?
it's like down the street from my house. It's called East Lake Number 3.
Your house
Yes.
in North Glen?
Yes.
And that was in the June time frame.
Yeah, or like the beginning of July. It was like right around my birthday. It's like so sometime at the very end of June or the beginning of July.
Okay. And that's the first meeting you had outside of work.
Yeah.
The basic conversation for a first date?
I mean, we kept it pretty simple, I guess, you know.
I guess.
I don't even remember everything we talked about. We
Sure.
were there for a few hours. But
Understand my...
She is downplaying everything insanely. First of all, he just said first date, and she didn't push back and say, well, it wasn't a date. We were just hanging out as friends. You know, right? Boom. There's one thing you catch right away. So she didn't deny that it was a date, but it was their first time hanging out, and she knew that he still was with his wife. So we're supposed to believe they just went to the park, and it was whatever they. What do you think they talked about for 3 hours? Come on now.
So if I ask about conversation, what I'm looking for, was he talking about his family during any of these meetings? Those are the kind of, I understand, whatever.
I'm sure she can't remember.
You guys were talking about relationship, your life, your interests, those things. We don't need to know that. What I'm interested in is knowing is when he brings up his children, when he brings up his wife, when he brings up financial information, when he brings up his home, when he brings up anything that may have been, and it's been a few days, so you've had a chance to reflect on some articles that you may have read, and unfortunately, that you're in a situation where somebody has been murdered. And that information, when you...
Well, not just somebody. Okay, let's call it for what it is. It's not just one person, okay? It's 4 people. Let's not downplay that. I know he didn't mean anything by that, but it's not. We're not just talking about Shanann here.
Look backwards in your memory with the conversations with Chris, anything that he might have said that would be relative to that. And I'm not just, even if one day he was mad and he said, I want to do this or do that, anything like that. If he ever made any kind of statements that you were like, whoa, that was weird. Or why would he say that? Or why did he mention that? Do you understand what I'm looking for?
No, I completely understand. I just feel like some of this happened so long ago that I can't tell you, like...
But, here's the other thing, right? Now, unless I'm wrong, this stuff went down in May and June of 2018, correct? It's not like it was 2017. So, we're talking about barely 2 months. She's acting like this. We're talking about 1990 something. It just was so long ago. Girl, what are you talking about? It's June and July. Talking a month or 2 max. You can't remember some basic conversations that you had with the man of your dreams? Like, get out of here. That's insane to me. Because women are really good on details. You guys pick up on details and you guys remember things really well and you guys are just smarter. And she knows. She knows what they talked about. She knows. You can't prove it to me otherwise. But look at her acting like we're talking about the Civil War time here. I don't know who the general was. It was in the 1700s. We're talking about July.
The exact words of the exact conversation at the exact time and place, because it's like we had a lot of conversations. I mean,
you don't need, he doesn't need and did not ask for the exact words. Okay? He's not asking for every single word that you said.
So it's
so if there's
like I'm trying to help you guys with the stuff like the stuff that's more current. I can give you guys a lot more like detail and exact times.
Because the current stuff she can quote unquote get behind and hide behind.
You're asking me about something that happened 6 weeks ago and exactly what was said. It's like, I mean, I'm sure I can give you a general idea, but to be honest with you, like to pinpoint exact words, it's not going to happen.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to pause a lot, but whatever. It's a reaction channel. If you don't like it, deal with it. I'm not talking to my subscribers, but there's people who are like, you pause too much, bro. It's a reaction channel. Give it a rest. Harassing, she's saying. You're not being harassed. He is simply asking you a question, okay? He's not shaking you down, number one. And then she just said it was 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago! Also, he didn't say, hey, in blood, I want you to write every exact word you guys talked about. What exactly does it mean anything? It's just give us a basis of what you guys talked about.
Not looking for exact words.
Thank you.
Just more...
General.
Let's say 6 weeks ago he said something that triggered with you last night. That's what I'd be looking for. Or something 4 weeks ago. And if you don't remember where it was or the specific words, that doesn't matter. Just he said something that was off the wall, or he said this or he said that, that has caused you a moment to pause and you go, wow, I wonder why he said that. Now knowing what you know today. Do you understand where I'm going with that?
I completely understand. And to be honest with you, I mean, there were several discussions that we had about his current relationship and where it had gone and what it had caused. And he talked about his kids from time to time, but the thing is he was never hostile. It was never anything aggressive. Like, even when he spoke of his wife and the fact that they were separating, it was never like ill. It was still very kind. It was just like, this is not working, and would explain why, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary or anything that I think would scare me. And to this day, even after everything that I found out, I still look back at that and I don't see any red lights with the way that he spoke of his family.
I also noticed that, like, nobody ever seems to say Shanann, or whether it's Nichol Kessinger or Cindy or the sister or Chris's dad. It's like nobody ever says Shanann. They always say her or she or the wife. It's insane.
Can you just describe his overall demeanor over the 8, 10, 12 weeks that you guys knew each other?
It wasn't that long. It was like 6 weeks.
No, it wasn't 8 weeks. We're talking 6. Oh my God. Okay, thank you for correcting us. Jeez. Yeah, we barely knew each other, sir. Yeah.
I guess we knew each other longer.
Okay, but you met him in the office, and just his overall persona. Who was he? Aggressive? Was he mellow? Was he calm? Was he outspoken? Who was Chris?
I think he's an introvert. I would consider him to be like a pretty, I don't want to say he's a very reserved individual. I think he's probably more reserved around other people. I think he emphasized to me that one of the reasons that he really enjoyed talking to me is because he felt like he could get out of his shell. He said around most people he just like didn't really feel the need to like talk and converse, and it wasn't just in his home life, just in general. It wasn't something where he's an introvert. And he said with me, it made him feel like he could really just start talking about things that excited him. And I think a lot of that.
Also, I've noticed she plays down how much they knew about each other, basically, or like this, and this. Almost makes it seem like they didn't really know each other. But then when she describes him, very detailed, he was an introvert, this, he liked this. It's like she says one thing, but then says another. Acts like they barely, it's like, yeah, we only knew each other for 6 months. But then here's everything about him. I know a ton about him. He opened up to me. All this stuff.
Had to do with the fact that we had things in common.
You both didn't like his wife.
So with me, I think he was a little bit more outgoing, but even then, I would still consider him to be an introvert. I mean, not on the extreme end. If an introvert went to like 1 to 10, I'd put him at like a 4 or 5. So on the lighter side of introvert.
Pretty even-keeled.
Yes, like really relaxed, like all the time. He was never really like worked up about anything, just
mellow,
chill,
easygoing guy.
Very much.
Okay. And he was that way with you. Did he ever have any kind of? Did you guys ever have arguments? I mean,
No.
Pretty short relationship. No arguments during that time.
No.
Did he ever lose his temper at any time?
Never.
You guys never had a yelling match.
No.
So you never saw him upset or mad.
No. And there was a couple times that we had some disagreements on things that as we like further progressed into this story, but it was never like, I am very calm when I talk to people. It's like extremely rational when I handle situations that there's a disagreement in, and he always was the exact same way. Like always. Like I never stressed anything. I think one thing that actually kind of drew me to him was the fact that he was like very open with communicating with me if there were any like differences on how we saw things or just like open-minded about things. It was actually, I personally thought it was kind of unique because
What sucks about this too for Shanann is like she's talking about Chris, and these are all the things that Shanann probably fell in love with about Chris, and then all of the things he stopped doing because of someone like Nichol. The openness, the communication, as we see, he stopped basically any and all communication with Shanann while she was pregnant with Nico. And it's so sad that he was giving all of that attention and openness and communication to Nichol instead, while his wife was legitimately begging him for a morsel of it.
Usually, most of the men that I've ever met are typically very closed off, and I didn't get that from him at all. But it was always like kind, very kind.
So, no sense that this guy had a temper or
Not at
was aggressive, or he never lost his mind and yelled and said crazy stuff or anything like that. Okay.
No.
So can we just kind of go back to your relationship? You say you guys had a lot in common. What was that?
Oh, I mean, like, we're both really into fitness. I think that's important. It's a lifestyle. Both of us ate pretty healthy, so I think that was important as well. He's like a total gearhead. He likes cars a lot, and I don't know nearly as much about them, but it's always been something that I've been pretty interested in, so we definitely talk about stuff like that. And I guess he was always willing to, like, learn new stuff, and vice versa. Like, I like to travel a lot, and it's not something that he's done a lot, but he seemed like really interested in what I had to share with him, and vice versa. So even if it wasn't something that we originally had in common together, it was just like, hey, I respect what you have to say, and vice versa.
So you guys just yin and yang. You got along pretty well.
Very well.
And no time, he never gave you an indication that
None.
that he was having issues. So during your guys'
But see, she just said earlier that he would open up to her about things with his family and the way things were going with his wife, and that he wasn't happy or whatever. And then he said, but he never gave you any inclination that things were, you know, whatever with his wife. And then she says none. So it's like, once again, you're saying two different things. You're saying that you can't remember specifics, but you know that you talked about his, you know, the issues with his wife. But now nothing ever stood out that something was wrong. Like, what?
dating time, did you guys spend most of the time at your place?
Always.
Okay, always at your place.
Or we'd go out, but I told Mark yesterday, he asked me if I went over there, and I told him about one time that I went over to that house. I've been to that house twice, but it was very, very brief, and it was not like an extended stay. I did not feel comfortable there, or like, I just didn't want to be there. It's not my life. Like, that is somebody else's life and somebody else's existence, and I respect that. That's their space. And so I used to tell him, well, come to my house because this is our space. This is my space.
No, you didn't feel comfortable at his home because you knew he had a wife and children, and you knew that he was still with her. You probably saw the photos and everything, and you probably realized what was going on. So you brought him to your house so you didn't have to worry about getting caught. Not that it's your space and his space. Okay, no my space. This isn't Tom. Okay, there's no top 8 here.
And so for me, out of respect just for like whatever situation he had going on and the fact that it's not my home, I felt that it was better to be in my place. And I live alone. I don't have any roommates or anything, so it's pretty easy to do that.
So during June and July, were you aware that his family was not his? Did you meet his children?
Nope.
During June and
to.
July.
And he didn't ask me to.
Okay.
I mean, not that I didn't want to.
Didn't want to, she said earlier. She said, I love that he had kids. I thought it was cute. He's a dad.
Ever. It was just not now. It's like you're not finalized with your separation. And not only that, we've barely been dating. Like, you can't introduce kids to somebody new in a situation like that. That's something that takes time. I mean, would I have liked to have met them? Of course. Of
course.
I mean, that would have
like goofy there. Oh, gosh.
been a great honor for me to have somebody introduce their children into my life, but not then. It was something that it was like, okay, well, let's see where we're at in 6 months. Let's see where we're at in a year.
She is doing a great job of making it seem like she is the moral grandstander, right? She is the, no, I'm not doing, no, I wouldn't allow that. No. We wouldn't do anything at his home. I wasn't allowing that. Oh, I don't want to meet his kids. That's not fair. It's like she's doing a great job of morally dancing around the fact that you were still having an affair.
If we're still doing this and you and me are still, happy with where we're at, and you think that this is something that is going to be long-term and is worth bringing your children into the picture, then yes, I would love to meet them. But it's like, not right now. You are still in this situation where you're not even completely out of it, and I'm getting in it, and that's not fair for them. And that was kind of the policy that I had with him, was it was just like, yes, but not yet.
So did he ask to introduce you to his children?
Not at that time.
Okay.
I think both him and I were on the same page of eventually, if things went as they should in the
I understand you guys'
relationship.
relationship is very new and young.
Yeah.
So, although it was short, just laying everything out helps us understand what actually was going on with him. And
Yep.
I might ask you a question and you're going, why the heck would he ask me that? Probably because I have information that I'm not willing to share with you, and I'll tell you that right now. I'm not going to tell you some questions I'm going to ask you, and you go, what the heck? I want to share some information with you. Just, it protects you, it protects our investigation. So if it seems weird, there's a reason I'm asking it,
That's
and
fine.
it's usually relative to what I know. So don't take offense to it. Again, it's just part of what we need to know.
Understood.
So just, you went to his house on 2 occasions.
Yes.
Was that recent?
No, that was like
No, that was a long time ago. That was like 4 weeks ago. I mean, geez, look at how much has changed since then. Oh my goodness. It's almost like the whole world is different.
pretty early into it, and I did not like it and did not want to go back.
Do you recall where the house was?
Yeah, it's like right off the highway in Frederick.
Okay. And you know the streets?
I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out again if I like really had to. Like off the top of my head, no.
Do you know the street name?
No.
Okay.
I would have to like drive around in there to get
I'm
there.
pretty sure she ended up being caught Googling his address or his house or something, so she knew all that.
Okay. Did it look like anybody else lived at that house at that
Oh,
time?
definitely.
Okay.
I mean,
So
the
is that
whole
what
thing.
freaked you out?
I mean, he told me that he was living in the basement, and he said, we're separated, but we're not divorced, and we're going to get ready to sell the house. And that was the impression that I was under. And I was under the impression that they were taking everything pretty slow with this, with like getting ready to sell the house. I mean, those are big things. So that's what I was informed. And I mean, if you think about it, this whole thing happened in a 6-week stretch. Like, it's not really that much of a time frame. So in that sense,
She's a master manipulator with time. She keeps playing and downplaying her relationship. You know. So here's another thing, right? 6 months is not that long of a time, right? But then for her, 2 months is insane for her to remember things. Or 6 weeks, right? Whatever she said, 6 weeks, whatever. But it's like, 6 weeks is nothing. But then when he tries to ask her a question about something that happened 4 to 5 weeks ago, she's, how am I supposed to remember that? So I noticed she's manipulating the time on her side favorably, right? You know, it's like you could say, you can get in an argument and say, oh, well, you're only 21 years old. So what do you know? You know, you're a baby. You're 21. You know nothing. You know, you whatever. You can't even rent a car. You know, whatever. But then you could do the opposite and say, you're 21 years old. Okay? You can legally drink, vote. You could legally be in the army, all these things. You could do all these things. Why are you not out there doing that? You're a grown blah, 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 right? You can manipulate it depending on what side you want to take. And that's what she does here.
like, it's believable to me. Yes, I went to the house, and the first time I was there, I hung out in their like front living room. I just sat on the floor, and it was on the 4th of July. It was the morning of the 4th, and I was helping him to set up MyFitnessPal app and like track his food, his calories and stuff, because he does pretty good with the working out and stuff. And he asked me, he's like, "Can you help me just like get this dialed in?" It's like, "Yeah, I can do that." So that he invited me up to the house, and I was already kind of.
So he invited you up to the house to help him with an app. You couldn't have done that. You couldn't have done that anywhere else. How to do that in his home.
hesitant to do it because I was like, there are other people that live here, and I just felt like it was an invasion of space. And so I went up there, and we just stayed in that front room, and I helped him out with that, and got him all set up with that. And then oh, he asked me if I wanted lunch, and he grilled chicken and carrots. And then that's all he had. And I was like, okay, so we...
You two eat healthy. See, once again, she's downplaying what he... Yeah, well, this guy, maybe chicken and carrots. I mean, this guy, making it seem like this was a very unplanned thing that we did. It's like, oh, yeah, and then we also had food. He invited her over for dinner. But that sounds worse. You know, what sounds easier is, yeah, I came over to help him with an app, and then he cooked me this nasty chicken and carrots. He invited her over for dinner.
So we ate, and then I left. And then there was another day about, I can give you the date-ish.
I mean, I don't even know how she can remember. That's over a month ago. I mean, geez, her brain.
Calendar. I think it was the weekend after my birthday.
Just a thing on the courtesy for the phone for, what was that guy's name, Don?
This gentleman,
Oh.
Thornton PD. I just met him today.
Oh,
Do you want to do the phone
I forgot
today?
about that.
For TPD?
It's not for them. They're doing it for us.
Yes.
We don't have the equipment with us to do it, and I asked them to do it for us. They're not involved in this investigation. He would just be a computer person. He would not be looking at any of this stuff. That would fall to myself. So keep that in mind. He's not involved in this investigation. Thornton PD has nothing to do with this, other than letting us use their facility and helping us with some electronic download. He's not going to look at your phone right now. He's going to put it on a disc, and they're going to give it to me.
Gotcha. I don't know, what do you think? I really want to help you guys. I do. I feel like this whole thing is just going to be crazy regardless of whether I give you my phone or not. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it.
Like, what do you need my phone for? Come on, guys.
Like, it's happening. It's going to happen.
Well, the text
Media's just
reiterate
gonna-
what you've been saying all along, so it's not like...
Well, they do. That's the other thing, too. I mean, that's kind of a good backup. Yeah, I'll give
I
it
think
to them.
you hit the nail right on the head. There's reasons why we want everything. It validates things that we know.
But she was so prepared with, when she was the one looking up how to delete things for him on Facebook and this, she seems like she acts like she doesn't know what she's doing or talking about, but deep down, she has probably been researching, doing all these things, preparing.
I'm not going to come out and tell you that. If you tell me something today, we'll validate it with your text messages, whether it's the ones we have now
I
or the
will-
ones you're going to give us.
I'll give
Certainly.
it to them. If you want to go get him.
I want you to read this, is what I want you to do before you decide that, okay?
So the second time I went to that house, I'm not sure what day it was, but it was the weekend of the 14th.
Of August?
July.
Of August, that would be 2 days prior.
I don't know if it was the 14th or the 15th. One of those 2 days. But we had went out and we stopped there just real quick on the way back. And we were there not very long, but that
That was probably the night they had dinner, and they remember the card came up or whatever, where Chris was almost like making it known that he was with her.
time I saw a picture of his wife and one of his kids. And I remember thinking to myself,
The first time she saw a picture, maybe it was when you were Googling her and stalking her Facebook page.
like, wow, she's so beautiful. And I took a step back and I was just like, this man has a gorgeous house. He has beautiful babies. He has a beautiful wife. He has an awesome job. Why would he want to leave this?
Wow, dude, she's insane. She is putting on a show. She is putting on a show.
And I remember talking to him about it, and that was the first time that I tried to actually say, what do you think about not separating from your wife? What if you really try to work on this? And he
So you want me to believe that the person that knew that they were going, quote unquote, through a separation, you saw a picture and suddenly, and you're dating, and that wasn't enough to deter you, but now you saw a picture and now suddenly you're saying, what if you didn't separate? You really want me to believe, Nicole? You want all of us to believe? How stupid do you think we are to say, yeah, I actually thought it would have been a good idea while I'm dating this guy that he just stays with his wife? That would have been perfect for me.
He had expressed to me that we've tried to work on this and it's not working, so that is why we're separating. And I spent some time, like, just, you know, kind of, because it almost made me feel bad, where I was, like, to the point
Oh, it
where
almost made her feel bad.
I'm engaging in a relationship with a man who,
Sorry,
the way
I'm
he
just
described
stretching
it,
right
is
now.
in a contractual agreement, but was not in, like, an emotional relationship with somebody. And for me, the way I would have preferred to do this is to have waited till that contractual agreement was also done, and he was done. And he could have approached me and said, I'm just had a divorce, you know.
Too late. You already knew this. It's too late. Once you're in it, you're in it. You can't just backtrack and say, you should be with your wife now. They were already hooking up. He was already cheating on his wife with her. And then suddenly she's the moral police.
Maybe we could take this slow. What do you think? But instead it was, oh, we're separated and we're working on a divorce. And that is the part that I feel bad about, because I should have waited on that and I didn't. And, you know, I was just like, well, they're already there. So, you know, but then being in a house, I was just like, why? Fix this. Find a way to fix this. Make it work, you know? And I was like trying to push
The person that he's with, find a way to fix this, make it worth. I mean, come on, dude.
him to do it, and he seemed pretty reluctant to do it. He didn't want to. And
If you really wanted that, you would have straight up left and said, I'm not speaking to you again. No more 2-hour phone calls, all that BS. I'm not
I
buying
don't
it.
know. We were still seeing each other fairly frequently, but I kind of like backed away so we weren't hanging out quite as much, and we were still close, but it was just
We were still hanging out a lot. We were still close, but I was backing away. No, backing away means you're not hanging out.
like I really wanted him to try. Like I wanted to know that he tried and it didn't work, and then he moved on, not that, you know, they both kind of tried and then he got himself into a situation with somebody else. And I don't know, I just thought he had a beautiful life going on and he could have made it work. That was the way I looked at it from the outside.
So is
This
this
is unbelievable. This is an unbelievable clip here. Someone having an affair, or down to have an affair, now saying that you have such a beautiful life. I mean, this is a wild couple minutes here.
something you reflected on since this event, or was this you?
No, I was doing it then. Like you
You
could
said
see
this
it in
this
my-
doesn't look right. He's kind of I don't want to be responsible for breaking up a marriage, especially with 2 children. Is that kind of the gist I'm getting here?
I didn't think it didn't look right. I mean, I think he was legitimately sleeping in the basement, and I didn't think that these two were. I mean, I think it was like, hey, we're both stuck in this house for now. We got to sell this. In the meantime, you live here, I live here. We sleep in different rooms, take care of the kids. That's just like kind of how I took that. And no, I didn't think it didn't look right. I just thought it just seemed like he had so much going on, and it was just beautiful that I was like, why don't you just try this out, you know, and see if you can fix it. And
But then she also said earlier that it seemed like he had tried many times, and him and his wife had tried many times to fix things, and that he opened up about all these things. But then suddenly now she's the one pushing back. Wouldn't you have been pushing back when he was the one telling you in the initial stages that like it's just not working and they don't click anymore and whatever? So now why are you suddenly acting like you were a marriage counselor?
I'd always be like, well, what about us? What about us? I'm like, don't worry about us. Like, that is more important. Like, try to see if you can, like, salvage whatever it is that you have going on with your wife. And you know, I always got the impression that he was a great father to his kids, like, always. And so...
That wasn't the case.
You know, and I was like, and be the dad that you want to be. I was like, and see if you can make it work. And he just... Like, we kind of talked about it off and on for, like, a few weeks, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I think I was kind of, like, cold-feeting about it after I went over his house. And so this was, like, pretty early
That was the second time she went to the house, by the way.
on. And then, he told me that, he went to, he went to North Carolina, and he was like, I'm going to talk to her when I'm in North Carolina and see if I can get her to do this, to like try to like rekindle the flame.
Okay, so
And the whole time she was desperately trying to get back with him or trying to make things work. I feel so sorry for Shanann. Also, how about this, right, guys? She couldn't remember exact things before, but now she's remembering a lot of things. Oh my gosh, that brain is braining, guys. It's incredible.
try to salvage his relationship as you've been asking him
Yes,
to do.
and then if he
When did he
decided,
go to North Carolina?
I think it was like the last week of July, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So I mean, this was like a couple weeks that I was just kind of like trying to push him to do that.
Let's pause at North Carolina, and we'll come back to that real quick. I want you to read this. If you don't understand what it means, then ask me the question. But basically what it says is you have the right not to let me look at your phone. I'm asking to look on law.
Skip ahead of this stuff because
Right that.
They have nothing to do with this case. I just don't want anybody to get some of those texts. Like, they have nothing to do with this case, and they're
oh, interesting, huh?
just like,
Between you and Chris?
yes, they're just.
If they're just whatever, then why don't you want anybody to see these texts?
So just tell me what you're...
They're just kind of raunchy. Like,
Okay,
I
well,
don't need anybody.
everybody's
I don't
an adult.
Need that posted like
We're not going to
somewhere.
post it.
I don't want the
ones that-
newspapers to get that. That's all I want.
The
I just
only
need
ones
them
that
to
we would
not
be
get
looking
that.
for, again, is the same kind of questions we're getting to here, is things about his children.
I feel like she was hoping she would say like, yeah, there's a bunch of like, you know, X-rated pics and things on there, and they would go, oh yeah, you know, we don't want those, so don't worry about it. It's like, why are you so apprehensive here, Nicole? This is a murder case, okay? Everything is important.
Things about his wife. The questioning of, did he ever, you know, has he ever said something to you that might indicate, maybe not then, but now, that there was something like this in his mind? Or you know what we're looking for. I don't need to come out and tell you that. I understand the embarrassment of particular photos or potential sexual types of conversations you may have had with Chris. It's not relative to the investigation, and we don't care. Okay, you're an adult. I'm an adult. Everybody in this room, even your dad, and
Even your dad's an adult.
I give it to you for saying that stuff in front of your dad, because I'm not sure many women could do that. So.
Dad's, you can't see that. The dad I'm blocking, but he has done absolutely nothing and said nothing, but he's just like this.
That's not what we're after. We're after the information that corroborates things that you've told us, and also that corroborates or
What a funny word that is, corroborates. Sounds fake.
may tend to prove that things that Chris told us were a lie. You understand that? And that's maybe going a little bit far. I usually won't tell people that, but because of your reservations, that's what I'm looking for. If I can disprove something he's told me by a phone records don't lie. People do. Okay? So
I like that quote.
if I can disprove something that may be important, that's what I need it for. I'm not saying I can. Has it happened before? Absolutely. Is it critical in cases that I've worked in the past? Yes. So that's why I want it. Okay? Again, you don't have to give it to me. You can tell me, I don't want you to have it. Go get a warrant. I'm not even going to tell you if I go get a warrant, try to get a warrant right now. I'm just asking for you to consent. And again, we can write right here what you're willing to give me, which is the text messages and the phone log. And unfortunately, again, the attachments on some of those text messages. And I'll write it on there, and then you'll just sign it. Okay? Do you understand the questions there? Do you have questions about any of the things that it says? You understand you don't have to do this. You're doing it of your own free will. And I know you're tired, so if you want to let your dad read it too,
He will. Thank you.
that's a good idea. We'll put on there what we're after. Car.
Danny, just,
Like, I got sick prior to this
Jim.
whole thing happening, and then I think all of this compounding with the
Stress.
fact that I'm sick, it's just not good. I've not really been eating or sleeping much at all.
So interesting, she's doing the woe is me thing right when they're talking about needing her phone, right? Now she's like, I don't feel good. I'm tired. Do you really need my phone?
We definitely need to accelerate the case because the more it takes, the less sure that they are of situations. But on the other end, I think if you do just that only,
You tell me what you're willing to provide to me, and we'll write it
good
on.
enough?
I just want like our text conversation and then I guess our phone call records.
So I'm going to put.
So the time and date of the phone call records and then our text message.
Text.
Also, I remember reading before in one of the videos, there was another guy, right? Her friend or whatever that she was calling. I forget what his name was. You know, so that's what there's part. It's like, I just want the stuff with Chris. No one else. It's like, what were you talking about?
Photos of him?
Huh?
Could we get photos of him?
Off of
Would
that?
you mind if we got his photos that he sent to you?
Oh, well, they'll be in that text message thing.
So all his photos were sent. There was no apps or anything else you used
No,
that you
no,
guys
no,
were
no,
sending. It was
no.
all just text messages.
Yeah,
Okay. So it'd be an attachment to a text that he sent you.
pretty much.
But
Everything is in the text and the phone call records.
so
Like all of it.
because we don't have it on tape, we discussed prior to turning the tape on Tuesday, which would have been the 14th of August. You had read some newspaper articles on the 13th and the 14th that regarded this case. You had also had a conversation with Chris at some point during the day on Monday. And on Tuesday, because of what you found, specifically what you said was, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but you found out that his wife was pregnant.
And yes.
And you did not know that prior.
I don't believe that either. I don't believe it. I think she's lying
And you found
to make herself look less of a villain. Because if she said, "Oh yeah, I knew his wife was pregnant," then people would be like, "Wow, she's even worse."
that out via the newspaper articles, and that caused you concern.
Well, I just realized that he was lying to me, and I was like, well, if you can lie to me about this, what else are you lying to me about? And it made me realize that maybe his wife was in danger at that point, and it was day two, and she still wasn't home.
What did that cause you to do with your phone, though?
Oh, what, when I deleted those?
Yeah.
I was just kind of grossed out by him, to be honest with you. I was.
Oh yeah, you were just grossed out, huh? Suddenly you were grossed out. Interesting. Not that you guys planned to go to a motel or take a trip after this happened, but no. Why'd you delete that stuff? Yeah, grossed out. Interesting there, Nichol Kessinger. Interesting.
It's just like, I don't know what's going on right now, but you just lied to me, and I don't want to see this come over my phone anymore. So I removed it.
So you you already said, but you removed text messages.
I deleted all of his stuff because he lied to me. I mean,
I deleted all of his stuff. Look, I've been lied to by people in relationships before. I'm not deleting every single thing. A little shady, don't you think?
that's what it was. It was the hurt that made me delete it. And then it was the lie that made me start questioning everything else he'd been telling me for the last few days.
And that's when you decided to come forward.
Yes.
Okay. So just for context,
Yes.
when people delete stuff off phones, usually we go, hold on a second.
No. It
And
wasn't
that's why I
malicious
wanted-
at
right.
all. It
Yeah, no, I'm
wasn't
not saying it's
malicious at
malicious,
all.
but-
He lied to me. It just hurt. Like,
She was able to use him as the perfect scapegoat, right? Hook, line, and sinker.
I had never felt like he'd ever lied to me before. And it was a big lie. I mean,
Right.
telling somebody that you're in the midst of a divorce and then you have a wife that has a 15-week-old baby on the way is a huge, huge thing. And I was very taken back, and it was hurt. And so at that point, I deleted it. I had a few more quick things to say to him, and then I just got rid of him. That's literally what I did. I just cut him out of my life. It would have honestly been like a bad breakup kind of thing. Like, if none of this other stuff would have happened, that's what it would have been. That would have been the end of it.
The information was not destroyed because there was anything in there that would be harmful to you or potentially to Chris at this point, but harmful to you in particular. That's not why you did it.
No,
You did it out of...
No. Also, this was after they had that, 2-hour phone call?
excuse my language. This guy's an asshole, so I'm getting rid of him, and I'm getting this stuff off my phone.
That was like me kicking him out of my life.
Okay.
And then, like I said, and then realizing that he lied, that was when I was like, okay, maybe his family is in danger and they're not coming back and they're not staying with a friend.
Oh my gosh, she's so ridiculous. Now my spidey senses are tingling. Now she's in danger. Now I can save the day.
Yeah, when did I go over there? Tuesday morning?
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday.
I called you Wednesday morning.
That's when we started discussing you guys need to get everything that it just...
You can understand the importance of...
Oh, no question. We were...
Like I said, people lie, phone records don't, and they really help specifically establish dates and times.
Mhm.
I think we have a very good grip on that in this case already, but there may be a time when we go, we need to know something else, and then we would have it. We don't want to lose it, and that's really what it is for us, is if we lose information that later on we go, man, I wish we would have got that. And we may never even use these. We may never even look at them. But if we have it now, then we don't worry about losing it. So I appreciate you being cooperative and giving it to us.
Yeah.
So the first thing I wrote was text messages between Chris Watts and attachments. Okay? So, because we're talking about the photographs, unfortunately, that cause you much disdain. And then I am going to put phone log for calls between yourself and Chris Watts. Your phone number is 720.
656 9605.
And this right now is located we're at the Thornton Police Department. It's going to be moved to so this is kind of, doesn't make sense, but we're here. It's going to be moved to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. He's going to download it here, but I'm going to take it with me, just so you know. It's not staying here.
Okay.
They're not going to retain any of this. This comes with me.
Okay.
Okay?
Is there anything else you want on there? I think that's about...
That's it. I mean, I don't have social media. I don't really have anything else you guys can pull.
Okay.
Is there anything else you know of that could help us with this that is not on this sheet?
As far as like data,
That's on your phone?
no. I mean, everything we did was like text and talk, pretty much. I mean, and like I said, any pictures that I had, like even if you were to restore all my regular photos, there's so many pictures in there, and you wouldn't even know which ones were for him and which ones weren't. But any picture that I wanted.
Another little thing there. Yeah, there's so many. Don't even bother looking because there's just so much. You wouldn't have any idea, so don't even bother looking, It's not worth your time, guys. Yeah, I bet.
To send to him, I sent via text. So if you guys go through the text and the attachments, you will have everything that wasn't said verbally and was done via text. But I think that's it. Like I don't have anything else. As far as like no Facebook, no Instagram, no Twitter, no LinkedIn, like none of it. So there was never any of that kind of correspondence. So I think that should probably cover everything you guys will need.
Is there any particular messages that would help me so I don't have to look at? Because whatever's on your phone, I don't know how long we're going to get back to, but let's say is there a particular date or time or message that stands out to you that would be relative to, specifically to the investigation into this case, that might assist me in understanding why something like this could have occurred?
I'm still in shock that this whole thing happened.
Oh, my Lord. I'm still in shock. Well, guess what? It's like she suddenly forgets everything or blames that she's in shock or all this. Like, is there any other information you can give us or anything that you can see from text? I'm in shock. It's like every time they ask an important question, she somehow deflects.
That's why I gave him the benefit of the doubt for the first day, because I was just like, no way. Like, I didn't even think about that. I mean, murder was not on the top of my mind when somebody doesn't come home for an evening, especially if they've just, like, had some sort of, like, heated conversation, it's like, okay, you guys are separating, you have a heated conversation, you leave for a night. Like, I didn't even think this guy killed his wife. I mean, that like, murder is on something on the top of my mind when I call one of my friends for 3 or 4 hours and she doesn't answer the phone. Like, that doesn't even process to me as like a real thing that is a possibility at that point.
Possibility.
And so that's why I gave it a day, and then the second day I was talking to him, he was just like a hot mess, I could tell. And then
So day 1, you didn't think anything was up, but day 2, then you were like, oh yeah, he did it.
and with like the way he was talking to me, and then that's kind of when I cut him off and I stopped talking to him. And then
So remember what you just said, and we're going to get to that because that's probably a very important conversation.
So if you want to know
So,
days, I would probably honestly just start at like Sunday and work your way forward. I mean, all the rest of that stuff, it's just like the small talk of like, hey, this, you know? I mean,
And your relationship building through the 6
yeah,
weeks.
I mean, like, and if you go like maybe like a week further back, like there's times like I was trying to help him find an apartment, like just for him, not for me, but for
Uh-huh.
him and his kids.
So she goes from saying, yeah, I really wanted him to work this out with his wife, and I really have been trying to get him to be, you know, with her. I did, however, help him look for an apartment by himself. Oh, that doesn't seem like somebody that wants him to be with his wife. That seems like someone that's pushing him to do the opposite. Also, I'm going to just end it here. Like I said, I'm going to do a 5-part series in like 40-minute increments, just so I don't overwhelm myself with information and, you know, whatever. Because sometimes when the videos are so long, I'm like, okay, wait, like that's a lot at once. So we got an hour out of this video. Look out for these, probably 1 a week. I'll just continue this here. Maybe I'll put part 1, 2, 3, 4 in the thumbnail, but you'll know what's going on. So just look out for that. Wow. Boy, I don't like her, guys. I don't like her at all. I can see through the bullshit. I hope you guys can too. I know you guys. Once again, you guys are smart. Phew. I just don't like her. She's not. She's an evil woman. I'm telling you. All right. Well, if you made it to the end, thank you so much. Make sure to like the video. Leave some comments about this in the comment section. Of course, hype the video if you can. I don't know if it's turned on sometimes or not. Hook it up if you can, and subscribe to the channel. Come on. I'd love to have you back. Maybe you don't subscribe and you'll never see me again. That would make me sad. I'd be bummed. I really would. Turn on the notifications. Click the bell so you don't miss a video. I post Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I don't know why I sang when I said Sundays. But that's it for my Triple Army members that are here with me all the way to the end. I appreciate you. I love you. Please don't bother me while I'm watching true crime. Peace out.